GadgetNate's Week in Review and Preview for January 10th, 2021. So how did I do on last week's goal? Well, first of all, the time management thing did not work out at all. I'll get into a little bit more detail about that later. We did have a wonderful North Houston Space Society meeting this past Saturday. We had about 22 people come. It was a very informative meeting. It was really uh, inspiring, I think, and educational. We also did our 7 interviews for Countdown to the Moon and reviewed 7 interviews from this time a year ago. In terms of extreme time management discipline, that didn't work out. But we did run 3 days, 3 miles each time, less than 11:55 minute per mile. We only used the tonal for 2 days. Part of that's because I got an injection in my arm and I just needed the extra day to rest. And I didn't read nearly as much as I thought, only 104 pages instead of 170. And the Internet of Things project, I just simply do not have enough time for another project. So I'd tell my friend, I'm sorry, but I don't have time, having trouble living up to my current commitments. And he understood that, and I think it turned out to be really good. I think his project's amazing in terms of what he wants to do, and I really wish I had the time to help him, but there's really nothing I'm willing to trade off, and can't squeeze it in. So the North Houston Space Society meeting, it was about spacesuits and spacewalks. So we had Gary Stevenson present. He used to work for a contracting company that was responsible for manufacturing spacesuits and supporting that at NASA. He now does something completely different and lives in California. He came to our very first North Houston Space Society meeting at my house. We also have a group of executives and directors who are going to be helping with the North Houston Space Society meeting. We were supposed to have our first, business meeting of the year this coming Thursday, but I have a work event that conflicts with that, so I'm looking at moving that out a week. But I think with this group of people, we're going to be able to take the North Houston Space Society to a new level, and I'm really excited about that. 7 Countdown to the Moon interviews. Interviewed Matthew, who works over there at Universe Today. Rupali, who's a friend of Nikita. She kind of got pulled into it at the last minute. We had a cancellation on Tuesday, and luckily Nikita was able to get in touch with Rupali, who was willing to work on it. Lisa had seen the article in the Houston Chronicle and signed up from that. She had worked in the U.S. Marshal Service. Scott, I met in Minneapolis. He is the founder of the Minnesota Space Frontier Society. Kevin, I had another cancellation on Friday, and I was able to get in touch with Kevin via Twitter, and he was willing to jump in there and do an interview. Nathan, who is a flight controller down at Johnson Space Center, he helps do the scheduling. And then Robert, who I met through David Gerardo, actually. He had come on a NanoRacks tour with us a year ago. So it's great to talk to these 7 people. Also, I reviewed 7 Countdown to the Moons from a year ago. It's amazing, no face mask. We're going out in public. We're talking about how it'd be great to have an event like landing on the moon to bring us all together, with little idea that we're about to, in just a few months, have the coronavirus in lockdown. And I remember taking the flight training, going to tennis, going to Starbucks, going to friends' houses, and it was just really something to kind of miss that from a year ago. Also, kind of really sad news. One of the people I interviewed for Countdown to the Moon, actually 2 people, but Karthik, who you saw just from the remembrance from the previous slide, his grandfather died this past weekend. Not this weekend, but a week ago. I went to his funeral on Thursday. He was our neighbor, a longtime friend of ours. He would come over and talk to my father-in-law about the Bhagavad Gita and other Hindu religious things. We were really close friends. Karthik and Stephen went to elementary and middle school together. Every morning I would see him on a walk, and him and his wife, and he looked completely fit. Considering he died of a heart attack, it's just unbelievable to me. And I think it goes to show you that we really don't know how long we are down here for, and we need to make the most of every day that we get. and we need to really make the most of each other. Also, I found out that a month ago in December, Jerry had also passed away. So we've actually had two people that I've interviewed that are no longer with us. I'm feel very fortunate that I got to interview them while they were still here. There have been several people that died in the past year that I didn't get a chance to interview, and I really regret not actually kind of pursuing it um, more so that I could interview them too. But life is short and make the most out of it. We have no time to be angry or to waste. About the extreme time management, it fell apart Wednesday morning. Wednesday, I just had the hardest time getting out of bed. I was using the trial version of this A Tracker app. It only allowed for 5 categories. So I had to create another category. It really didn't work well. I just signed up for the Pro, so that's going to take care of at least the number of categories. But I think simplifying the number of categories is key. You need to have fewer transitions. I think it's good to have the time tracking app and be really conscious and intentional about what am I doing as opposed to just drifting through the day and the week. And then also having good numbers for what I did. I also find that I spend a lot of time checking on Twitter, Gmail, Facebook, LinkedIn. Most of that checking is a waste of time. I think I should just do that maybe once a day, but no more than that. There's really no good that comes out of just tweeting things or looking to see if your tweet's been liked or retweeted. The running 3 days did pretty well. Goal was less than 11 minutes and 55 seconds per mile. Monday did 11:22. Wednesday a little bit worse, 11:50. Saturday it was cold, 11:40. So did okay there. So my plan for the coming week, okay, fewer categories. So 17 hours buffer. Take 10% off the top, set it aside, and say this is for the unexpected things. 56 hours for sleep, 50 hours for work this week. This is going to be a very tough week. We have all these kickoff meetings, team building thing. I have a chunk of work from last week that didn't get done, and then I have a full schedule aside from all that this week. So I think we're looking at 50 hours this week for work. Family time, I didn't have that called out last week, but I think at least an hour a day spent just to kind of improve family relations and do activities with family is key. I grouped together all my North Houston Space Society stuff and Countdown to the Moon into a space related category. And then all of the exercise, eating, personal hygiene, the this weekly update, all that I just put in a personal category. So these are kind of bigger chunks of time to manage and try to get the most out of that time with inside of those chunks. So family goal. I mean, this week I like to play some type of board game with the family for sure. I got this Terraforming Mars. It looks complicated, but maybe we can look into it. I also would like to call and talk to at least one family member that I haven't talked to in a while. Just reach out to them and say, hey, how's it going? What's going on? Find out what's going in their life. Space goals. For the North Houston Space Society meeting, we need to publish the last meeting. Need to do a little bit of editing on that video. And then we have the PowerPoint slides and some notes. Prepare for the business meeting. It was supposed to be this Thursday. I need to finalize moving it to the following week and then kind of figure out what we're doing there. Countdown to the Moon, 7 interviews, 7 reflections. Also, I think I'm going to go ahead and begin the application process for the professional master's in space studies at Rice. I'm not really sure that's what I want to do. I just feel like I need to start taking some steps to kind of match up my professional training with my personal interest. And this is one thing that, is here in Houston. It's a great program. I talked to 2 people on Saturday and Sunday about the program. I'm familiar with the people there, and I just think having a little bit of credentials would help with my credibility. Also, my aunt Joan has asked me to give a speech to a Rotary Club in a few months, and I'm going to call it about humanity's future in space. And I think I'm going to start an outline on it this week. Personal goals, again, stream time management's up there. If you can't manage your time, it's your scarcest resource. It's really going to limit what you're going to be able to accomplish. Run 3 miles a day. Going to shave off another 5 seconds this week. Try to keep it at 11:50. I used the total 3 days this week, and I've kind of reduced the goal for reading the worldly philosophers. So it's going to be 100 pages, not half the book. That make it 2/3 of the book, um, plus the previous 100 pages. So that's what my plans are for this coming week, and I look forward to talking to you again next Sunday.